reality. Working like a slave, that's how I made this masterpiece. Living like a god, I lay at night, I rest in peace. They remember me, but I am not Harama beef.
mypdfbooks.com. That's books with a Z.
Once again, this broadcast has been brought to you by mypdfbooks.com. That's books with a Z, where reading fundamental. Also brought to you by mindedbooks.com, where treasures are bound. Be sure to get all of your herbs and teas at herbsofmyaunt.com. My Aunt Sons, the tea of teas, divinely prepared. And for all of those musical stylings, be sure to check out bhbaymusic.com. So for your everyday items and religious regalia, be sure to check out morishhaberdasher.com. And for that everyday especial Moorish drip, be sure to check out morishsacha.com. And all of these companies are powered by ALO Design Pros. Design your online business strategy today. And without further ado, we introduce to you Sheik Khari Goodman Bay.
What's up, family?
Peace, 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 and love, Sheik.
Peace, and love. Peace. Living like a God. Run that back, Brian. Run that intro back. I'm a spirit speaker. Come on, run that back. Run that back, Noble.
I'm a spirit speaking, truth seeking, heart reaching, knowledge leaking, seeds sowing, harvest reaping, man of meager means. I have yet to leave, I'm still breathing. To quit, I have no reason. I mean, I'm asleep, but I be trying to live my dreams. I cannot even act if it's all easy. Either you gon' do it or you don't really. It ain't no in between. Baby, you can ask the sun, it's an everyday thing. Consistency in your routine is how you bring reality. Working like a slave, that's how I made this masterpiece. Living like a god, I lay at night, I rest in peace. They remember me, but I am not Harama beef.
You said, I'm asleep, but I'll be trying to live my dreams.
Oh, man. Come on, y'all.
Let's go.
If we ain't going to celebrate ourselves, man, come on, Brian. The album is fire. Working. That's how what make this masterpiece. Man. Living like a God. Masterpiece. Hey, they remember me. Man, I'm telling you, Brian Hicks Bay, streaming on all platforms. His album is Transportation of Raw Materials. All my brothers and sisters, check my brother album out. Check it out. Show us some love, man. We love hip-hop. We exhume hip-hop. This is our culture. It's good music. It's good ride music. We're going to just have to pick a day where we just play the whole album, B. You know?
I'm ready.
We just sit, you feel me? Where we just sit back, have our tea, and, you know, and your grown man cigar or whatever you have, and sit back and just do an open mic. And we just sit here and enjoy it. You feel me?
Yes, sir.
And introduce the world to it. See, you know, my brain be operating. That's what this is about. I love my brothers. Because when y'all own, we own. And the album is fire. The album is fire. And everybody know it. So before we proceed, can you please give us our Moorish American prayer and then how the BBT believe? And we're going to kick the ballistics.
Islam. Allah, Father of the universe, Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is our protector, our guide, and our salvation by night and by day through his holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali, Shalom Malakim, Ayah Ash'aya, Hotep, Islam. Amen. And peace, 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 peace.
Peace.
So, scientific study will illuminate the student that Yahweh, our Elohim, the God, the creator of the stellar and ecclesiastical universe, has stipulated in all Bibles, regardless of the translation, a pattern that he, Yahweh Elohim, gave Moses in Mount Sinai in the year 1490, BBY, erroneously referred to as BC. It is by a profound knowledge of the construction and operation of this divine pattern of the Mosaic Tabernacle in relationship to every created object in the universe, whether visible or invisible, that will reveal the answer to every question concerning Yahweh Elohim and Yahshua the Messiah, as he really is, and his eternal purpose and plan. The Burning Bush Tabernacle Science Temple and School is not a church, but a school of research founded with the idea in mind to delve into every branch of science according to the pattern of the tabernacle, man made in the image of God, or Allah, which is an acronym for arm, leg, arm, head in Moorish science, to find the answer to every question concerning that Yah that has played the student from the foundation of the world, thus proving the unerring accuracy and infallibility of the Bible. In research and study, we always use the true Hebrew names of the unity of the Spirit of the so-called Godhead. Instead of the title God as the Father's name, we are using the correct Hebrew name Yahweh. Instead of Jesus Christ as the Word or Son's name, we are using Elohim, which is the correct Hebrew title of the Father, Yahweh, in super and corporal form. For the Holy Spirit, which is Yahweh Elohim, manifested in the physical body, we are using the correct Hebrew name, Yahshua, the Messiah. These names may seem to be of private interpretation, which we, the Burning Bush Tabernacle, have invented, but through research and study with a good encyclopedia or dictionary, anyone can discover for themselves of this great era. There was no letter J in any language until the Middle Ages. Neither was there ever a letter equivalent to the J in the Hebrew language. Therefore, such names as Jesus or Jehovah are impossible renderings of the true name of the Father and Son. Here at the BBT, our aims are as follows. 1. To illuminate the student, to find and know Yahweh, our Elohim, as he really is and exists. 2. To form a nucleus of universal brotherhood of humanity in Yahshua the Messiah, without distinction of race or creed, nationality, sex, caste, or color. 3. To investigate the unexplained spirit law, or so-called law of nature, and the powers latent in man. 4. To encourage and promote the study of the scriptures, comparative religions, psychology, philosophy, modern, practical, and occult sciences. 5. To remove spookism, superstition, skepticism, and ignorance. Aim 6. To learn, to know, and understand the operation of Yahweh's eternal purpose through the dispensations and ages. Aim 7. To discern and avoid being deceived by Lucifer, the serpent, the devil, the dragon, or Satan, and his demons, operating the mystery of iniquity on earth through the dispensations of time. 8. To earnestly contend for the common salvation and faith which was once delivered to the sons or children of Yahweh. Aim 9. To make known that Yahweh from the beginning ordained there is no other name given among men whereby man can be saved, saving the name Yahshua the Messiah. And last but not least, aim 10. To inherit eternal life now in the kingdom of Yahshua the Messiah with the hope of immortal glorification in the new earth state. And with that, I say Islam, amen, and peace, 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 peace.
Peace,
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 peace, peace,
peace.
peace. Peace and love.
Gratitude. Love, Noble Brian, Noble Alonzo, all the muftis that's here, that's not here, Dantes, Drayshawn, Malik, Barclay, family and friends, those that was here, is not for whatever reason. We give you love and honor, regardless of what you're going through. It could be mentally, spiritually, or it could be physically. But we're here as an ally to tell you that we love you and we're here as
Islam.
brothers of healing.
Islam.
So I want to say that from the giddy up. But peace, Noble Alonzo. How are you today, man?
I'm doing great. Sheikh, by Allah's grace, just just enjoying the wonderful sound, vibration of your spirit. Islam.
Man, gratitude, man. It's always good to hear your voice, and it's always good to be around my brothers. Like I said, I operate off feeling and vibration. So a lot of time when I be like, man, talk to me, I don't be saying it in a way to make people angry, like, well, say something, just be like, yeah, I just want to know if my people with me,
Islam. Yeah, Islam.
You feel me? But before I get into this teaching, Noble Alonzo, could you please give us the honor of giving us a benediction or just a gratitude introduction of
Islam.
how you do it in your
Islam.
eloquent way that only you can do it.
Islam, Sheikh. I just want
Gratitude.
to just open up and say that by Allah's grace, we're able to even uh, connect with one another and be amongst wisdom as we are today. And I just want to speak into someone's spirit just to remind them that you haven't arrived here by accident. And all of the things that we utilize to get us to where we are today wasn't for naught. So a lot of times we think we may have to throw everything away, but the universe doesn't work that way. He brings us and it brings us through a certain pathway so that way we can see what landmarks, so we can be reminded by the way we have traveled. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
times we run into those that may be of our past and we may see some things and they may see some things, but Allah is the best of planners. So he knows where and wherewithal that we have to show up when we have a certain assignment and a certain order in that which we follow. So I just want to give encouragement to those that are under the sound of my voice and know that you have a purpose and that an assignment is placed on your life and you must what? Live it out to your best ability. So the BBT is here to assist in that process. And with that, I say Islam.
Man, Islam, man, and gratitude, Noble Alonzo, for your spirit and for your trust and for your openness and for your wisdom and just for your spirit, along with the guidance. When I tell everybody, just because I might have a title of sheep mapping guide doesn't mean I'm not a student of this as well. Because if you a real mapping guide, that means you are teachable. And everything that you learn, you give back. Remember, I put two words in our text stream. What was it? Solidarity, and I think it was something else. What was it? I think I put two words in the text stream. It was solidarity and man, if somebody can look at the text stream real fast and tell me what the other word was. I know it was solidarity and man. Anybody looking through the stream real fast? It'll come to me, y'all. But when we talk about solidarity, and I talk about the web per se, when I can use signs and symbols to break things down. But solidarity, what does it mean to my brothers and sisters, especially in the spiritual realm? Because the physical is connected to the spiritual, especially when it comes down to dealing with finances. But when I talk about solidarity, I mean, we shouldn't be in splinter groups. You know, we're not Crips and Bloods. We're not Pyru this. Yeah, my Empress just said selfless. Solidarity and selfless. Keep them two things in your head. Solidarity and selfless. Selfless. So just imagine if we understood solidarity and just imagine if we understood being selfless in the operation that we're doing. We can have a magnanimous operation right now. Just think about it. Because the prophet said, and with no disrespect for no one nationality or creed, because if you heard our aim, we are brotherhood no matter of your creed. But when we talk about doing things in a certain way, the prophet says he's going to leave the European here long enough to show you how to build a nation. So if the prophet will say such powerful words as using a different group of people or a different body of people or a different view of people to show you how to build a nation, I think it has to be done on certain principles. And when people be doing things their own way, I said, well, that's not the way it should be done. You know, we're talking about models and archetypes per se. We're talking about building on solid foundation. So today, like Sunday, I always say the divine come first. When I deal with people, as you hear my noble Alonzo say, we deal with spirits. Everywhere I go, my spirit vibrates. That's why I'm able to go in regular places and just be me and bring people to me. That's my whole mission in life. I've been doing this almost my whole life, even before the science. I tell people, put me up on YouTube, Minister Curry Goodman, Pastor Curry Goodman, see if I'm talking crazy. No, I go where my people go. Like this is what I tell people, I'm a real human being. You didn't think the prophet was under other sciences and understandings before he knew what he knew and the wisdom and understanding? That's why I'm talking about certain disciplines. Some people go to karate or be in a certain discipline and they quit when they're a green belt. Some people get a black belt. Some people get double gulped. Some people go and all the way to be grandmasters. So that's different levels. It just so happened that I was able to have the aptitude and the understanding to go all the way to where it's no limits. And the divine takes me there. And I have the education as well. And I'm selfless. And I understand the power of solidarity. And I understand the power of economics. How? Because my undergrad is in that. I have degrees in this stuff. I have a degree in business management with a minor in marketing and sales and nonprofit business startup. That's why I know what I'm talking about. Just like my dad is a professional. I don't have to belittle myself. I know how to do things. Why? Because I know how to model it. How? I operate under the laws. We have to understand the power of the dollar. We tax exempt for the federal government when you're under religious organization. And people be like, well, all this. I say, well, you're not going to have nothing. You're not going to own your community. You have a tittle of understanding because your heart hardened. You don't understand owning your community, your religious community. And a lot of people don't know what the Soprano was all about. When I teach about this, about organization and building and tax exempt status, this is all what I'm talking about. This is all Moorish science, not nothing criminal. So only people should be speaking of these things is what I'm saying, is those that have a specific expertise. Not nobody on here criminal talking about, I can show you how to reverse this or show you how to cancel corporate debt. Those are criminals. Those are Roger Elvick Negroes. That's that paradigm group. They don't want to admit it, but they ain't gonna come to me with that crap, with that ran the court stupid stuff, with that sovereign citizen oxymoron crap. You're not gonna come to me with that fugazi. And everybody know that. I'm not a kid out here playing. Like I said, I'm an elder. I'm 48. I know I done met a lot of Moors that's mental is straight up gone. I don't talk about it, but if I show what I get from people, man, I say if I just to even pick up my phone and things, I need to be charging thousands of dollars. Because so many people got this science misconstrued. Why? Because they don't know the divine comes first. And that's why I say today is Sunday. I want to talk about the divine. Watch this, nobles. A lot of people never, ever, ever, ever touched the Moorish Quran. How I know? If my dad jumped in here on live right now, when I moved to Arizona, I had my own metaphysical school. I taught science, history, spiritual studies. I rented a whole charter school. I moved to Arizona and got people, all different nationalities. Then I met these Moorish brothers. I let them be in my temple. One, I call them poor science because they couldn't keep, all these group of brothers couldn't even keep a dues up. But they say they this and that. They ain't never had a Moorish Quran. How you teaching Moorish science and you don't have a Moorish Quran? My dad attests to this. My father is right here. My dad is an elder. My dad's 78. He said, man, them Negroes crazy. And this is what I be telling people. When brothers haven't studied nothing because the way they come and they angle and they talking about is something I'm teaching people their nationality. Man, you ain't teaching them nothing. Or I'm teaching civics. How you teaching civics and you not even civil? That's an oxymoron. Oh, I read black laws. I'll burn black laws up. You give a damn about no black laws dictionary. We don't use that in the arena of law. Not no stupid black laws dictionary. It's black law volume 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Who cares? dictionary terms. We deal with precedent law cases, doc numbers, the Free Information Act, habeas corpus, the Chicago Law Review, quid pro quo. Like, people need to go on and stop playing. But they ain't even studied the Moorish Quran. Why not? You say you study Moorish science. So you ask a person, what's Moorish science? They'll start talking a whole bunch of videos that they saw on the internet of people talking, being criminals. We have a holy book that's gathered, compiled, and divinely prepared. The prophet didn't say he wrote this. He said he gathered, compiled, and divinely prepared. Just like all my literature, I say I gathered, compiled, and divinely prepared. That should tell you something. It's divine inspiration. How? All of my books that I'm going to show and we're going to talk about today, you know, because I'm going to synchronize all the science, all like Voltron. It's basics. It's basics. Gathered, compiled, and divinely prepared. Gathered, compiled, and divinely prepared. And so if this gathered, compiled, and divinely prepared all through this Moorish Quran, I can pull out all the holy books that's in the Moorish Quran, from the Vedas to the Brahmin text to the Unto Thee I Grant, from the Moorish Akashic records. Hell, from 20 to 40, it's all damn near all the same. This is what I be telling people. I said, y'all lost. Or the prophet plagiarized his Aquarian Gospels. No, he didn't. The European wasn't nothing but a transcriber. See, I know this. Why? Because these is fact. The European wasn't nothing but a transcriber. You know what a transcriber is? No disrespect. Our prophet said he gathered, compiled, and divinely prepared. And so when you gather, compile, and divinely prepare, right there is giving you antennas up. It should tell you like, okay, this information is a collection of information, not saying that it's the main source, not saying that it's your basic understanding. Are y'all with me?
Islam, Sheikh. So we can look at that as also an ordering.
Yes, sir.
Right, Sheikh? That's a certain ordering that the prophet came and presented to us. Certain order.
Mm-hmm.
You can go out and get all of those materials that Sheikh is saying, like we, you know, because that's adding to your library and also furthering in depth your studies, your adept studies. What the prophet did, he provided it in a particular order because the divine comes first.
Mm-hmm.
Islam.
And if you have that aptitude, if you, just like when I talk about the clock of destiny, man, the clock of destiny ain't a whole bunch of retired Negroes out of prison. Not saying you can't be educated because you in the prison. If you made a mistake, we all pay for our mistakes when we do criminal things. But I'm saying this ain't a whole bunch of fools or one type of individual. This is what I be telling people, a whole bunch of YouTubes, like that's not true. That's not more science. When people talk about the temples is all infiltrated. Them Negroes ain't never been to no temples. I know this for a fact. They can sit up here and say that. It's one temple in the city of Flint, Michigan. I told y'all what's up with that temple. What? Nothing. I'll be transparent. I tell y'all what's up with it. Nothing. Ain't nothing up with it. Pooh diddly. You can look up the number right now. The number been disconnected for freaking years. And this is what I'm talking about, how when the wrong people have things and we have to, all of us have to give gratitude and say, what? Come together and say, what? We need to stand with this. Why? Because this is what it is. We can clear this up. Man, listen. If anybody that's called himself a map and a guide, this Quran right here can teach you everything. It can teach you law governs all events. It can teach you all the esoteric and exoteric science. It can teach you everything. Because what it'll do is open up your beakers. And if your sheikh is a divine minister as well and a scholar, then he's able or she's able to start gathering the other information, not only showing you where all the information, where this was gathered from, but then show you where you can start synchronizing and connect it and have a clear understanding. And then take it way further than anyone can do, to where when any storm come up, per se, in the form of an individual, you fully armored with love.
Islam.
Because you know what you know.
Islam, Sheikh. And I bear witness that Sheikh Kyrie Goodman El Bay is a synchronizer of the teaching. Definitely. Is beyond a shadow of a doubt. Bring all of the teachings in together in synchronicities, uniting, you know, Asia. What was being transpired. I just wanted to give that witness that this is was taking place before us.
Islam. I always tell people my stories through my academia endeavors. when I say it's nothing secret about us. Just because some people get power and it absolutely corrupts them, but we are the only group of people that will persecute our heroes in the flesh per se when we know they're true heroes. I don't have to. I'm not a martyr. I'm not going to give my life for somebody else. It's been done. I said we can do things the right way. You know what I mean? But when we talk about, this science and to synchronize it, I've been called so much by my own brothers and sisters. Well, he think he Dr. Ben or John Henry Clark or Dr. York, and somebody jumped in my inbox was like, y'all niggas is stupid. I have to say it. It's like all these is great men, and you saying that man is all that in one? You sound like a fool. You hear me? He said, if that's the case, you saying this man is a reincarnation of all these great men. You a fool.
Mm.
You see how messed up the psychosis of how we be? Instead of us giving credit and giving honor in the flesh, be like, man, we got a brother in the flesh that's all that. But what? You got Michael Jordan, you got LeBron James, you got all these great players. You had all these players beforehand. That's great. They try to compare and contrast, but they were great and they right. And they get they just do. This is what I'm saying. We don't knock great men, especially when they proven righteous. When they ain't came with none of the fugazi or with none of the criminality in it. Been standing strong. Yes, I'm all that. If you want to talk about the good stuff, I told y'all in the Jewish house with my European Jewish colleagues, I'm rabbi or Melchizedek. In Moorish science, I'm sheik. When I'm with my brothers that's under the so-called Christian doctrine, I'm just an elder teacher. I'm divine Moorish minister, Kari Goodman Bay. When I deal with my Egyptologist people, they call me a high priest. Like, what we talking about? When I do it with my Europeans, they call me a shaman. I mean, I'm all that. What's wrong with that?
Nothing.
This is what I ask a person. I say, are we that crazy? Our teachers say, you say what, Noble?
I said, got to be.
Yeah.
Got to be crazy.
If we're supposed to respect and obey all the laws and the prophets, Jesus, Buddha, Confucius, Muhammad, all that, something that we never seen. But then here's your brother exhumed in the flesh, and the scripture says, how are you going to say you love God or this image you never seen, but hate me that you can touch and feel? That's asinine. Why belittle me? So the Holy Spirit not working into me? In academia, man, I've lectured in academia so much and done so much work, man, in spiritual house and cross-reference and done this work to where I'm still doing charity right now as I supposed to. And that's why when I have my donations and all that on there, I tell people I'm not asking nobody to pay me, but I say, if we're doing something right, it's just honor. And then that's the only way we're going to have something. I asked, somebody said, have you ever heard of Amazon? And I knew where they was going. They was like, yeah. And they say, do Amazon sell books? And I said, yeah. Then they said, have you ever heard of mypdfbooks.com? I'm cracking up. I said, yeah. He said, do he sell books? I said, yeah. So he says, everybody should be supporting it. I said, yeah, that read books. I got what they were saying. And so what they're telling me is be proud. Because you have things for the people in your culture that say what they do. The people should support and see what you do. The heart is pure. The prophet you think the prophet wasn't getting donations to have the temples, or you think the prophet just closed his eyes and rubbed two rocks and established these Moorish science temples of Americas, the real ones, that's established? Do you think that, huh? No. We have to understand what we're doing and look at the laws and look at statuses and things and tax exempt status and what the religious laws trump everything, so we can have a clear understanding. The Holy Quran teaches this. We're talking about a certain type of discipline. You can't say you a Moorish American and you're studying Moorish science and you don't understand this right here. I tell everybody to digress. We have a divine creed and proclamation. If you don't know the divine creed and proclamation off the tippy top and you know a rap song and you profess to be a Moorish American, I'm sorry, because all this stuff will check you. All this stuff, it will check you. And then if you don't know, you should get with a group of brothers that can let you know. Listen, man, let's just give a preface as we walk around. And anybody want to say something, please, because I just want to inform people of, I don't think brothers know what Moorish science is. And if you don't have this Moorish Quran, you can get it from us. We have it as an ebook. You know, you can take it with you. Everybody be like, oh, I like to write in my book. You can write on your tablet. But writing in it, you got to damn pick it up and read it first. You talk about writing in it. It's here for us. Gathered and compiled and divinely prepared. It says it on here. The Holy Quran of the Moorish Holy Temple. And don't get caught up when somebody say, "Oh, I saw when it says the Temple of the Moor, whatever." Who cares? The stuff in it the same. The damn misspelling the same too. How about that? So don't get caught up in things. Divinely prepared by noble prophet Drew Ali, by guiding of his father God Allah, the great God of the universe, to redeem man from his sinful and fallen stage of humanity back to the highest plane of life with his father God Allah. I mean, just the introduction give me shivers. Just the introduction, and I'm gonna show you how when I jump out of this, I'm gonna jump right into the book that I gathered, compiled, and divinely prepared, and you're gonna be like, damn, you should have it. It'll clear it's like it'll clear your nostrils up. To where you'll be like, oh man, because I know you don't have it. And when you get the truth, it's just like law. You can't arbitrarily explain law. So if a person say, well, if he got the manuals, he go to science to what you talking about, you gonna say, well, this, you can't diss it. How can you diss it? How can you diss it? And a man is giving it to you on a platter. And then he contextualized, then he gathered and compiled it and divinely prepared all these hundreds of manuscripts and put it in a small pamphlet right here. A small pamphlet. You understand what I'm saying, Alonzo? And we still lost. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. So our prophet said, know thyself and thy father God, Allah. Listen to this introduction. And I want all my brothers to digress. We're from the tribe of Judah, lineage of David by blood. That's Bible. We under a Hebraic, we under a kosher diet, kosher. That's Bible. When you look at Elijah Muhammad book, what is it? Eat to live. That's a kosher diet. What is halal? Isn't that a form of eating meat? Don't they eat meat? Indeed. Halal? Okay. So that means it's killed a certain way, right?
Indeed.
Oh, so what is kosher? So what is kosher or kosher?
Killed.
Huh?
Killed a certain way.
Killed a certain way.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. And when you read Eat to Live, because I already broke it down. One of my Muslim brothers hit me up. He said, man, he's like, I love you. He said, because you broke that down eloquently. He said, I thought you was going to break it down from just read the book. I said, man, I'm a scientist. I'm going to show you where it all come from. I'm a linguistics. It's a Hebraic diet. It's a kosher diet. Tell me I'm lying. You can't. You can't. That's why they don't diss the scriptures. If you're a Muslim, Nation of Islam, well, your Act 1 said we believe in the truth of the Bible, but they understand it's been tampered with, and it must be read or reviewed, whatever, by the elite. And I'm paraphrasing, and y'all know I'm telling the damn truth. Tell me I'm lying. Tell me I'm lying. Get the Nation of Islam final call right there, and put it back to Act 1, and tell me what it say. Tell me I'm lying. You know I ain't lying. But one that I ain't rocking with, and I don't have no problem with nobody say, is one of the acts. I think it's act. I can't remember in my head, but if all you got to do is get the paper turned to the back, you would see it. They say since 1930, Fard Muhammad, David Ford, whoever they want to say, is the Mahdi for the Christians and the Muslims. 1930, Christians and the Muslims. That's around when the prophet left this earth, or was done, his dealings. You feel me?
Islam.
And I ain't coming from no disrespect to no one. I'm just saying, let's deal with the science. Let's connect it, and we can feel okay. when I tell people, relax. The genealogy of Jesus. Oh, he said Jesus. Yeah, it said in your Moorish Quran. I'm just reading it how I want to. I know we can say the holy names, we get that, but let's stay in context and see, do you pick some things up that's familiar to you? Because if you don't pick something up, Nobles, Alonzo, and Brian, and Muftis that's here, and they say they profess Moors, we see why it's easy for you to be caught up with a charlatan. You understand what I'm saying? Because you have no base.
Yep.
Have no base. Watch this. The genealogy of Jesus with 18 years of the events, life, works, and teachings in India, Europe, and Africa. These events occurred before he was 30 years of age. These secret lessons are for all of those who love Jesus and desire to know him about his life, works, and teachings. Did I read something wrong? No, Alonzo?
No, sir.
It didn't say to know Muhammad, did it?
Sound like you read it right to me.
Okay. Okay. Dear reader, do not falsely use these lessons. They are for good, peace, and happiness for all those that love Jesus. Dear mothers, teach these lessons to your little ones, that they may learn to love instead of hate. Dear fathers, by these lessons, you can set your house in order, and your children will learn to love instead of hate. Y'all know my phrase, more science is for the family. That's my phrase. We got to put that on a shirt. More science is for the family. I just said everything the prophet said in one sentence. You see how I gathered, compiled all that wisdom and just made it a phrase? You understand what I'm saying? It's very simple to do when you're in tune with the words, because the words speak to me. The words are vibrations. My ears are ringing right now. This is what I tell everybody. Vibration and illumination. I don't need no trinkets. The trinkets don't anoint you. Man, we the anointed. What are we talking about? Come on now. Don't play yourself like that. These lessons of this pamphlet are not for sale, but for the sake of humanity, as I am a prophet, and the servant is worthy of his hire. So let me break that down eloquently, what he's saying. No, it ain't for sale, but we asking for a suggested donation for this. Why? Because a prophet, a servant is worthy of his hire. How? You know it takes some work, especially if it's gathered, compiled, if it's on paper and things that cost. We should be honored to give what? A suggested donation to have that. Why? Because this is who we are. This is part of our culture. This is ish. This is why. The same thing with my documents. It shouldn't be a second thought. The lessons of this pamphlet, like he said, is not for sale, but for the sake of humanity, as I am a prophet, and the servant is worthy of his hire. So everything that I've gathered and compiled is for us Moors, for the sake of humanity. And you can receive this pamphlet at expense. And you can receive this pamphlet at an expense. So then a person in his lower self, you be like, oh, he's contradicting himself. No, he's not, smart guy. You in your lower self. You're not even in the spirit understanding what the prophet is saying. So you don't even understand unity. You can't even fathom it. Why? Because your spirit ain't right. If your spirit is right, you understand clearly what this is saying. You understand clearly what I'm saying and what I'm doing in the flesh. The reason these lessons have not been known is because the Muslims of India, Egypt, Palestine had these secrets and kept them back from the outside world. And when the time appointed by Allah, they loosened the keys and freed these secrets. And for the first time in ages, have these secrets been delivered in the hands of the Muslims in America. All authority and rights of publishing of this pamphlet of 1927. And when you look at the Aquarian Gospels, look at the time periods. I can check the language. If a person was in the flesh, I know when people be trying to add themselves into things and try to add themselves more powerful than the science. But a lot of people, linguistics ain't there, so they can't catch it. So a person that may think they more educated than you, or think they more linguistically astute, they'll play linguistic apartheid with you. But they can't do that here. Not with me, you know, as a fact checker, no matter how you feel. Now watch this. The industrious acts of the Muslims of Northwest and Southwest Africa. These are the Moabites, Hamites, Canaanites, who were driven out of the land of Canaan by Joshua and received permission from the pharaohs of Egypt to settle in a portion of Egypt. I'm not going to read all that. I just wanted to give you all that introduction of that part. I want to just skim through it because I'm trying to calm y'all spirit. Peace, no Buran. No Buran. I like, when I teach, I like to ask brothers questions that follow me, you know, that be here consistently. I ask brothers, have they ever studied the Moorish Quran? And then had a study over it with their brothers and sisters, with their map and guide and their sheik or whatever you want to profess, and go over it to have a clear understanding. Because, and then break down all the books to go with it, because there's more manuals to go with it. And then break it down. A lot of people don't. You can't have the whole, in this, I just gave you the introduction. It said these teachings, the reason why they've been hidden, because the Muslims from this area, and this area, and that area hid the teachings. And then now here he is, we dealing with Moorish science. And then when I talk about the silent brotherhood of the East, the same act is being done on your own kind by what was done that we say the prophet talking about in this. So how can I be a God, man, and don't give it all to my brothers and sisters, and then say what the prophet said that he's been telling y'all? Hey, man, a workman is due his hire. Treat this man the same way you would do me, because he done took it way further. Are y'all connecting what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
All through this Moorish Quran, I just want people to study this: the death and burial of Elizabeth, Matheno's lessons, the ministry of death. I asked any of my brothers, do they know what they're talking about? When I started dealing with the coffin text and the Book of the Dead and the Brahmin text. What you mean? Yes, the Brahmin text and the Vedas. It's all in your Moorish Quran. Yeah, and I ask people to say, where me, brother should have been and highlighted it. When I say you dissing something, you have no understanding. The divine instructions. Chapter 3, Elihu's lessons, the unity of life. When I talk about solidarity, the death and burial of Elizabeth, you know, this all in the Moorish Quran. The life and works of Jesus in India among the Muslims. The life and works of Jesus, the friendship of Jesus and Lamas. Jesus explains to Lamas the meaning of truth. Jesus reveals to the people of their sinful ways. What is these Moors talking about? Jesus attends a feast in Bihar, and here he taught human equality. I'm still in the Moorish Quran. Jesus spake of the unity of Allah and man to the Hindus. Allah, arm, leg, arm, hand, manifested in the flesh. That certain archetype that we talked about. We broke it down in our aims. If you understand, you be like, yes, this man broke it down in their aims. And it go right to the Moorish Quran. He already done this. It's very simple. Islam to that brother. Jesus and Baratha, together they read the what? Sacred books. What sacred books? It's sacred books? Yeah, okay. Well, watch this. I'm going to do a little reverse because I'm going to go backwards like a Quentin Tarantino movie. Watch this. Jesus spake unto the unity of Allah and man to the Hindus. What you mean? Allah, or all people worship Allah, the one, monotheism. I said it, you know. But all the people see him not alike. But all the people see him not alike. This universal Allah is wisdom, will, and love. In your biblical scripture, wisdom is Sophia. Wisdom is Sophia. All men see not the true in Allah. One sees him as Allah of might, another as Allah of thought, another as Allah of love. Look, I got my other system up. He said, Sheik, you should block everybody that don't support you. I'm not going to operate like that. And I just can't do that. I just say, I hope everybody have it on their heart when they feel the support they will, you know. And they can't say when we get to a certain place we won't hear. But Islam to that and gratitude. But where was I at? Oh yeah. He says a man's idea is his God. And so as man unfolds, his God unfolds. Man's God today, tomorrow is not God. and every nation sees a part of Allah, and every nation had a name for Allah, and every nation had a name for Allah, because there's beautiful names of Allah. And if you study the Quran, I don't care which one, you say, man, I don't care how you pray, it's beautiful names, long as it's getting honor to that. Just like when I talk about our workman tools, it's in your Quran. It is, Sheikh, yeah. One day, as he was bringing forth the tools for work, he said, what? These tools remind me of the ones we handle in the workshop of the mind, where things are made of thought and where we build up character. And you let these charlatans get on the internet and diss masonry because they're not real scientists. We're not going to deal with that. We use the square to measure all lines. What type of square? Circle and a square. Circle and a square both have 360 degrees, just different parameter. If you know how to use your compass, which most of these brothers don't, because they operate on criminal behaviors. We use it to make our lines straight, straighten out the crooked places of the way, and make our corners of our conduct square. We use the compass to draw circles around our passions and desires to keep them in the bounds of righteousness. We use the axe to cut away the naughty, useless, and ungainly parts and make the character symmetrical. You know what symmetrical is. We use the hammer to drive home the truth and pound it until it is part of our every part. This is what I'm telling people what this science is about. When Elihu just told him, Elihu said, it's not strange. There are no happenings. Law governs all events. And when Sheikh said law governs all events, and I can say it without a doubt. And everybody, am I right about it, Nobles? Law governs all events. Am I right about it?
You're right about it.
Any more come over here? Any more come with that fugazi? We can do it. And I don't just want to say whoop in a bad way. I said as a child need to be whooped. We can whoop you with the science, with the teaching that you say you under. Why? Because law governs all events. You can be fact checked. And the stuff that I'm a fact check with is nothing but a schoolmaster. It's not nothing complex. It's a schoolmaster. I'm going to give a schoolmaster and I'm going to give you a spanking. Because that's all brothers need. And if that's don't work, then you on your own.
Islam.
And these, your sons, will be the first to tell the news and teach the gospel of goodwill to men and peace on earth. Teach them that Allah and man are one, but that through carnal thoughts and words and deeds, man tore himself away from Allah, debased himself. The only savior of the world is love, and Jesus, son of Mary, comes to manifest that love to men. Now love cannot be manifest until its way has been prepared, and naught can rend the rock and bring down lofty hills and fill the valleys up, and thus prepare the way. But purity in life men do not comprehend, and so it too must come in flesh. And you, Elizabeth, are blessed because yours is purity made flesh, and he shall pave the way for love. This age will comprehend but little of the works of purity and love, but not a word is lost. For in the book of Allah's remembrance, a registry is made of every thought and word and deed. Oh man, listen to this. Then every man on the earth will read the words of life in language of his native land, and men will see the light and walk in the light and be the light. So let me clear that up. When he said, then every man on the earth will read words of life in the language of his native tongue. That's the Holy Spirit. When people talk about they were speaking in the tongue, yes, you were speaking the word in the language that you understand. I have to teach you language and linguistics, and that's what speaking in a different tongue is, from facts, not just shouting a whole bunch of garbage. Because the scripture says, if no one understands what you're saying, that's for you and the creator, and you making it up as it go. And we have to be truthful about these things. Am I right about it?
Indeed.
So as we fast forward back, because I said I'm doing this as a Quentin Tarantino movie. Now watch this. I'm gonna go all the way back forward and tell you something that's gonna have you cracking up. All people worship Allah, the one, but all people see him not alike, right? Right?
Islam.
Every nation had a name for Allah. Every nation. So you may go somewhere to the Middle East or something, and they'll say Allah. They might be saying God. You know?
Yeah, because Allah is just a Arabic name for God, or a name for God in the Arabic language.
Or really, yes, yeah, yes and no. But I agree, especially to the English vernacular or to the so-called modern Arabic vernacular. Absolutely, we can agree to that. But when man sees Allah as one with him, his Father Allah, he needs no middleman, no priest to intercede. This is what we teach here at the BBT. Now let's go back. Jesus teaches the common people at a spring, tells them how to obtain eternal life. I'm in the Moorish Quran, y'all. Fact check me. I ain't went out the Moorish Quran yet. Let's go to the next one. Life and works of Jesus in Egypt among the what? Gentiles. Among the Gentiles. The ministry of John the Harbinger. Who do we compare to John the Baptist or John the Harbinger in our Moorish Quran?
Marcus Garvey.
You see how easy that is? But we're going to compare one of our brothers to somebody that we can't connect to. And the reason why our prophet give glory, just like John the Baptist, somebody is going to give you the idea of having your own flag and do all this. But someone is going to come after me and make it plain. Like the song say, lead the way. I'm going to lead the way. Hey, lead the way. Hey, I'm going to lead the way. Hey, you feel me? He's going to be somebody greater than I to lead the way. You feel me?
I do.
It's just what it is. Someone greater than I. Wait, ain't nothing wrong with that. We know the ministry of John the Harbinger. I ain't got to stay all in it too long. I'm just walking through through the Quran. And I hope brothers and sisters that say they study more science, I hope you agree, because there's nothing you cannot agree with. If it is, we know your angle. Divine ministry of Jesus. Jesus goes to the wilderness of self-examination, where he remains 40 days, is subject to 3 temptations. He overcomes, returns to the camps of John, and begins teaching. Pilate's final effort to release Jesus fails. He washes his hands and feigns innocence, delivers Jesus to the Jews for execution. The soldiers drive him to Calvary. I'm still in the Moorish Quran. I ain't left yet. Jesus appears fully materialized before Apollo, and the silent brotherhood in Greece appears to Claudius, and Juliet on Tiber near Rome appears to the priest in the Egyptian temple at Holotheus. Y'all should know all this. Everybody should have their Quran. They should be like, Islam, Islam. But when we listen to Charlene on the internet, when they tell you some criminal stuff, oh man, people be giving all their information. And I said, oh, Rico. They're like, y'all stupid. They use the internet to catch all criminals. Oh, I need that information for I can cancel corporate debt. Got you, clown. Resurrection of Jesus. Pilate places the Roman seal upon the stone door of the tomb. At midnight, a company of the silent brothers march about the tomb. The soldiers are alarmed. Jesus teaches to the spirits in prison. Early Sunday morning, he rises from the tomb. The soldiers are bribed by the priests to say that the disciples have stolen a body. I'm still in your Moorish Quran. I'm just giving you chapters. Jesus appears fully materialized to the Eastern sages in the palace of Prince Ravana. In India, to the magician priest. In Persia, 3 wise men speak in Persia of the personality of the Nazarene. Ravana. I'm telling you, man. And then it talks about the Brahmin text and the Vedas. Where? In your Moorish Quran. Holy instructions and warnings for all young men. Marriage instructions for man and wife from the noble prophet. Like what we talk about. Your Moorish Quran to check you. Duty of a husband. Holy instructions for thy children. The obedience of the children towards their father. A holy covenant of the Asiatic nation. A holy covenant of the Asiatic nation. And that's real, and that ain't even long. Let me read that. A holy covenant of the Asiatic nation. Ye are the children of one father, provided for by his care. and the breast of one mother has given you suck. Let the bonds of affection therefore unite thee with thy brothers, and peace and happiness may dwell in thy father's house. And when ye separate in the world, remember the relation that bindeth you to love and unity, and prefer not a stranger before thy own blood. If thy brother is in adversity, assist him. If thy sister is in trouble, forsake her not. So shall the fortunes of thy father contribute to the support of his whole race, and his care be continued to you all in your love to each other. You see? Then you got the holy instructions of unity. Then you got the holy unity of the rich and the poor. Come on, brothers. Then you got the holy instructions from the prophet, master the servant. What y'all talking about? We don't have instruction. What are we talking about? Magistrate and subject. Holy instructions from the prophet, the social duties. Oh, we got social duties. It's in your Quran. It's in your Quran. Holy instructions from the prophet, justice. Holy instructions from the prophet, charity. 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 Oh, I don't deal with that. Oh, well, you ain't. That's why. Because I'm not your prophet. I'm not your sheep. You're not under a certain structure. When the prophet say, well, who's your mapping God? Who do you support to help to spread this ministry? Oh, well, Sheikh Goodman Bey or other people. No disrespect to nobody. I got to say this. They'll say, well, my sheikh or my imam is this person. No disrespect, but they be on my page every freaking week. No disrespect to no one. And if they take it with disrespect, I mean no disrespect. But if you take it like that, then oh well. It's just the truth. It's just like if I say, man, I study martial arts, I study Wing Chun Sheik, and my Wing Chun teacher is Sensei Bootney Farnsworth. And I say, okay, but why are you in my class every freaking week? And don't support my teacher. I gotta be teaching something good. Am I right about what I'm saying, Nobles?
Yes, sir.
I gotta be. If a person to come to me and say, well, I got a sensei, well, I got a sheik, my sheik is this, that, and the other, but be on my page every week, what's the purpose? What's the purpose? It don't be no slander. It don't be no disrespect. I be asking people on the real. They say, oh, well my sheik is XYZ. And I say, that's fine. That's brilliant. That's great. But if I have a sheik and I'm coming to somebody else dojo all the time, I'm definitely coming with fucking gifts. Excuse my candor. Excuse my candor. Why? Because I'm coming with gratitude. Let me tell you why I got gratitude. Because I have a sensei. I have a sensei, and I got enough pride and honor to come and honor you because I got a sensei, so I got to be saying something good. So I'm coming with nothing every time. That ain't no honor. I'm coming empty-handed every time with nothing, and boom. I can say this, I'm a real person. It's just like I said, ain't nothing wrong with it. But I'm saying, well, it's just like what the prophet said. We should do things in the right structure. And we should be able to talk about these things. Holy instruction from the prophet, sincerity. When we ask, what are you sincere about? Are you being sincere? You know, that's what I judge a person's character. When I speak on things that's on my heart, because the sincerity and the love inside you was going to prove exactly a person's angle. Like I tell people, this is my social media. This is my platform. What Allah and our brothers have allowed us to do. But when people come and gather and they be under certain banners and they show up every week and they tell me that they have senseis and they have this and that and the other, and I say, well, I got to be teaching something right to show up every week. I must. Or you just here to look at me and say he ain't no damn good, and that's cool too. The holy instruction from the prophet, religion. The holy instruction from our prophet. Here go Moorish. Oh, I don't have no religion. What are you talking about? It's in your Moorish Quran. He got a whole chapter on the instructions, the prophet on religion. Am I right about it, Nobles?
Yes, sir.
Come on, let's be honest. Oh man, we don't have no religion. Who told you that? How? And I tell you, the religious laws trump everything, but you don't have no religion.
like you said, some people can get proven wrong by what they say. They can get convicted with their own words. You know what I'm saying? And you say you're this, but you're saying you claiming to be this, but then you saying something contrary to what you claim to be. You know what I'm saying? So it's just crazy.
Yes. Yes. It's just like 1 + 1 is 2. And to be this, you have to be this. If you say you're under this, then that means you under this. Why? Because these are the tenets. This is what this is. You can't be under that if you're not under this.
It's wrong.
You just can't. You can't. We have holy instructions from the prophet of religion. Watch what it says. I'll give a couple lines. There is but one Allah, the author, the creator, the governor of the world, almighty, eternal, and incomprehensible. The Son is not Allah, though his noblest image. You heard it in your Moorish Quran. When people say, well, the Son is God. And that's what the prophet. Yes, we deal with chakras and all that about in our ajana, but that's higher linguistics and adapt wisdom. We talk about the chakras and the sephirots. I'm teaching higher science, that connect it all. But we're not replacing nothing. The Son is not Allah, though its noblest image. He enlightened the world with the brightness. When I talk about metaphors, his warmth gives life to the products of the world. With brightness, his warmth gives life to the products of the earth. Admire him as the creature, the instrument of Allah, but worship him not. Sun gods. We give honor to the sun. We know fire, earth, air, river. We know sustainability. Without that, what is nothing? We know that. To the one who is supreme, most wise, and beneficent, and to him alone belongs worship, adoration, thanksgiving and praise, who has stretched forth the heavens with his hands, who have described with his finger the course of the stars. I don't want to stay too far in the text. You can read it for yourself. It's there. Holy instructions for the prophet to do what? Know thyself. To know thyself. To know thyself. I don't want to stay all in it. I'll read a couple lines. Weak and ignorant, and thou art, O man, humble as thou oughtest to be, O child of the dust. Wouldst thou raise thy thoughts to infinite wisdom? Question. Wouldst thou see omnipotence displayed before thee? Contemplate thy frame. Fearfully and wonderfully art thou made. Praise therefore thy creator with awe, and rejoice before him with reverence. Wherefore all of creatures art thou only erect, but that thou shouldest behold his works. Wherefore art thou to behold, but that thou mayest admire him. Wherefore to admire thou mayest adore there and thy creator. Just want to read 3 lines. But then you got holy instructions from the prophet, the breath of heaven. We like to say the holy breath. Then you got the holy instructions from the prophet, the soul of man. See, I'm just walking around the Quran. This should be familiar to these Moors, but they're not familiar with it. You can ask, we can do a synopsis. Anybody that's asked any board, I study Moorish science, actually they got the Moorish Quran. Nope. How that commercial be doing? Nope. Holy instruction from the prophet, instability of man. When our noble Alonzo give our benediction, even though a portion of us is inconsistency, and inconsistency. See, I had to look that up, noble Alonzo. You hear me? I had to look up inconstancy. Inconstancy is powerful in the heart of man. Intemperance, saith and withered, it will. Despair, all these things. But yeah, man, holy instructions from the prophet. Inconstancy. I don't want to read it. Holy instructions from the prophet. Weakness, because I study it and I study it every day. Weakness. Holy instruction from the prophet. The insufficiency of knowledge.
Islam.
I mean, come on, it's right here. Holy instructions from the prophet. What? Misery. the divine origin of the Asiatic nation, the beginning of Christianity. I'll give a little preference of that for all my Christian brothers and sisters, because I love all of y'all. And whatever the prophet says, we can add on to it. Because if the prophet was alive, all I'm gonna do is add on from the scholarship. You can't deny facts. But the foundation of Christianity began in Rome. The Roman nations founded the first church, of whom crucified Jesus of Nazareth for seeking to redeem his people from under Roman yoke and law. Research, Judah trembles under Rome. Jesus himself was of the true blood of the ancient Canaanite and Moabites and the inhabitants of Africa. And we already proved that the misnomer black man is the father of civilization, proved by the Bible alone. So if we can prove that, why are we dissing the Bible? Why would we diss it? We can show you in the Old Testament and the New Testament whose all the old church fathers are, melanated, without a doubt. 100% fact, scholastically, and historically, religiously. These is facts, no matter how no one feels. Seeking to redeem his people in these days from the pressure of the different nations of Europe. Rome crucified him according to their laws. These teachings were not accepted by the rulers, neither the rich, because they love the principles of the 10 commandments. Through the 10 commandments, the rulers and the rich live while the poor suffer and die. All nations of the earth in these modern days are seeking peace, but there is but one true and divine way that peace may be obtained in these days. And it is through love, truth, peace, freedom, justice. And I like to give my other 2 cents, divine creed and nationality. Love, truth, peace, freedom, justice, divine creed, and nationality. I got this new brand coming out, y'all. I don't want to say what it is, but I put it in the text stream. You know, it's going to be crazy. Or my other 2 cents I like to add on, health and wealth. Because we all about that. We all about that. We all about that. But Egypt, the capital empire of the dominion of Africa, all of your Moorish Quran, the end of time and the fulfilling of the prophecies, all of your Moorish Quran, all of your Moorish Quran. And then, can we jump? Oh, we on good time. Y'all see what this is right here? This is the solid brotherhood of the East. This go with your Moorish Quran. What you mean, Sheikh? I just told you. This go with your Moorish Quran. Oh, well, this Sheikh or this person told me that's only for adapts. That's a lie. How can you be a noble and an adapt? That's being a noble and adapt is still prerequisites. That ain't high science. All my brothers are adapts and nobles. I just told you that. How you going to be a true mapping guide and teaching discipline? And I'm a master, and my brothers ain't masters in understanding wisdom. And when I say masters, when I say master students, that we're going to be able to be under a certain discipline and be able to be under a certain science and be able to operate under love and synchronize it. Why? Because a lot of people are not introduced to the wisdom. And then all these, I have the manuscripts that all this stuff come from. And then all other science. You know, that's why you have to give credit when credit is due. When I tell a person, man, I don't care if you're Christian, Muslim, Islam, Freemason, you can come with all that pseudo Negro-centric and Eurocentric propaganda you want. When I come with the language, especially for my Islam brothers, it's nothing you can say. Even my pale Islamic brothers, they can come with all that they want, and I love them. But sometimes you have to be like, man, forget that. I'm done. How can I say? Being nice per se, because people will take it for weakness, and I'm not letting nobody promulgate this science and misconstrue it and try to put all of us in the same box. No, we know that it's a lot of people that's not teaching the science because they're not even breaking this stuff down right here. The science of Moorish science. They're not even they never took the time to read the Moorish Quran like my noble Mufti Alonzo Wright Bey does and break it down. Like that's Moorish science. Everything else, I don't know what they teach it. I really don't. I don't know. I'm not going to say what it is. I don't know, but I know it's criminal behavior. I know people got YouTube channels and people be sending me stuff like, do you know this person? No, but I know they probably know me because I've been here for a long time and I don't care who they are. If they got on some big stupid ass glasses with a suit talking about you can reverse this and do all this, I'm telling you that's fugazi. And the only people that's doing that is criminals. That's what I'm telling you. Don't nobody got no time to be in no court. What you in court for? I be telling her, what you in court for? They can't even tell you. It'd be a whole bunch of old criminal stuff. We ain't rocking like that. So we got a little bit more time. I want to jump in this red book. The red book is the Silent Brotherhood of the East. This go with your Moorish Quran. Just go with your Moorish Quran. What you mean, Sheik? Who right in the front of it? Marcus Garvey, the Harbinger, the John the Baptist. I mean, this is very simple. Watch this. Watch this. What he say? He said, "Brother, this is he like I love you too, man." And thank for that, man. Listen, I had a brother say, "Man, I've been following you for 10 years," and he said, "When you start saying it be people following you for years, you ain't lying." I know I ain't, brother, because if people know me, I be writing names down, the dates and the years, everything. I got brothers that been following me from day one. From day one, I got brothers that been following me for years and years, and still do stupid stuff. You know, so you should be supporting somebody that's real. You know. Oh, that's my Noble Malik. That's all I want to be telling brothers, man. That was Noble Malik just called. I don't know if it was an emergency, Noble, but he just called me. Probably at work or something. But I just want to give a little preface. Chapter 1, Jesus and the works of Jesus in Egypt and India. That's in your Moorish Quran, and it's in your Bible, and it's in all the Brahmin texts and all that. I don't want to stay too far in it. Chapter 2, the life works of Jesus in Joseph's home at the age of 7 years. All this stuff is just, how can I say, the icing on the cake of the Moorish Quran. You know, of the Moorish Quran. You know, and even though, like I said, this is gathered and compiled because it's just the Moorish Quran. You know, and it's talking about the brotherhood. You know, when he received the mystic name and number and passed the first brotherhood test, that's all in the Bible. All the stuff is in the Bible. The marriage laws, all the stuff come from your biblical scriptures and your culture. It's in there. And so I just want to open up and close with my book that I gathered, compiled, and divinely prepared. You know, and it's a compilation of science, and it makes it plain. I've gathered and compiled a plethora of books about the Fez, Sufism, and the Triple Rose, the House of Ali. I've gathered and compiled so much research and made it in small pamphlets. You know, the same way brothers put this together. Noble Ali didn't put this together. I'm telling you, it's brother. Let me be honest with y'all. See, it's brothers that put this stuff together that you'll go on the internet and you'll be like, that's what they about. Not saying the research is not valid, but you'll be like, oh, that's what they doing. Even though it might be a good work, but they should just be teaching the science. You know what I mean? They should just be teaching the science. And I don't want to say the brother name, you know, because I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to give nobody no names. But if anybody can catch it, they know, you know. And he's in here as saying some research, which it is some good research. You know, and he called, man, screw that. I ain't forget that. We're going to keep it 100, you know, because it's in the book. It called itself Grand Sheikh. Brother Rami Salim El is the head of the International Asiatic Hip Hop Temple and manager editor of the Moorish Star newsletter. And Bro Salam has extensive research experience. The demand for which has not led, it has now had led, see, that's a misprint as well, or of writing, to travels around the world, an avid student and teacher of contemporary Moorish science history. Grand Sheikh Salim El lives in California. And I say, okay, that's fine. But when you see certain things and people sending me things, they be like, man, that's what these brothers doing? And I say, well, I'm not that. And that's why I tell people, come here. We're not even going to discuss none of that. But you can see what's being done. Because you can let a dirty dog be a dirty dog, and all that dirty dog stuff catch up with you. This is what I tell people. How? Because if I'm sitting up here teaching you what's right and what's not right, you should be astute as a student. So no matter if you in a college form or in the streets or anybody doing it, your spidey senses of pick up, and you will say, Sheik already done eloquently explained this. Oh, you doing criminal behavior. I don't care how smart you talk or what cane is. I don't care if you know Muslim or no high thinker. Our brother already has educated us on this. We ain't falling for this crap. That's what all this does. What I'm telling brothers, you need this for a clear understanding. So the book, one of the I gathered and compiled is the interpretation of the divine creed of Moorish Islam. You see, I have a picture of the prophet in front, and a lot of my introduction come from the Sacred Gift by Peter Lambert Wilson. And Peter Lambert Wilson, that was his pen name. What I'm telling y'all, which a lot of people, the Sacred Drift, yeah, the prophet did a lot for not just us, for all people. But brothers and sisters don't know. Watch how they give credit to the prophet. Prophet Noble Drew Ali, founder of the Moorish Science Temple of America, 1925, excuse me. 4 years before his death, posing formally as prophet, Sharif, and Mason, from Who Was Noble Drew Ali by Isa Al-Mahdi. The images crumble in 1920s photography of an American black man dressed in robe, sash, and fez, posing formally, hand on breast, like Napoleon, labeled Prophet Noble Drew Ali. And they said, like Napoleon. So, but you know, you see where they got all their symbolage from. They had to go to a certain area. This is what I'm telling people, you know, to recover the meaning of this obscure and enigmatic portrait. Look how they're saying this obscure and enigmatic portrait. We must rediscover a lost or secret portion of our own history. And you hear this is the European telling you this in his writing of our own history. When I tell y'all, research Spondu Mystery by Peter Moon, and then see on the cover a Spondu Mystery where you see those generals on the cover, and you see our prophet right there on the cover with them generals. And then read the introduction of Spondu Mysteries. You're gonna be like, oh man, you're gonna start seeing the power of what I'm talking about, of organization, of understanding what I'm promulgating. I just need the people. If the prophet said he's gonna leave the European here long enough to show you a model, and I'm showing you the model, when I'm telling you this masonry belongs to us, this is the type of discipline, I show you this, you gotta stop being afraid. If the Masons wear the fez and clandestine, but you don't think the fez is power? You don't think a lot of the tenants is power? You don't think in the Masonic house they got all the holy books laid on the table? They use that for you don't know. And they throw it back to you as spookism. I'm telling you as a fact, no European or Negro Mason can come on here and tell me nothing. No disrespect from no one. I would tell you, I'm transparent. I'm 99 degrees of ancient Memphis and Mizraim. I haven't took no oath. I'm initiated through wisdom and understanding. That's why I had to create my own school, because I couldn't form under no Negro stuff and a whole bunch of Moorish groups that don't study and that's not academically astute and can't go in all religious houses. I don't need to be under no old Negro that's called himself some sheep. Why? Why? I'm a mapping a guy too. I'm a fisher of men. So watch this. To recover the meaning of this obstacle, I gave you all that. American history. Okay. The official source describes our prophet Noble Drew Ali as the founder of the first Black Islamic sect in America. In truth, he was less than this, for there were Black Muslims before him. But he also was more than this. He was an American prophet. Here it is, the European calling Noble Drew Ali an American prophet. He could have stepped from the pages of Melville or Ishmael Reed. Woo! A thought of Allah clothed in the flesh. Woo! A fact, a poetic fact. And I quote Peter Lambert Wilson, A Sacred Drift, Essays on the Margin of Islam on page 15. Man, come on, man. Come on, man. And in here, I put some things together, you know, to give you a compilation of some deep science. Let me give you a preface, because we got about 10 minutes to go. And then I'm just going to show the rest of my books and we out. I'm not going to do no introduction of any of my books. I'm just going to show them and then we out. But Noble Drew Ali combined elements from a number of different sources. He did with the Pan-Africanism of Garvey, Christianity, Islam, Theosophy, Masonry. The Islamic elements included our prophet was saying that he was the last prophet of Allah, and his Holy Quran, which is the Circa 7 Quran, composed in 1927. But I understand that, but then that'll be contradiction Allah, you know, his creation. It's always going to be a prophet of Allah. Why? Because birth. That's what we're talking about. But our prophet page, he wrote a Moorish Quran, 64 pages. It bore a little resemblance to the Islamic Quran. It contains significant elements from the Bible, the Apocryphal, Yahshua, Jesus Gospels, and the Rosicrucian, a form of Freemasonry, which I talk about the unto thee I grant. Those texts, in addition to material from the Quran. Our prophet taught that African Americans were Asiatics that can trace their ancestry back to Africa, Morocco, and beyond that to Yahshua the Messiah, aka Jesus. African Americans should, this is what he say, abandon their slave identity and religion and reclaim their heritage. But you don't have to abandon nothing. I'll resurrect you. You don't have to abandon nothing. Converts, and see, we not converts, we resurrect. But that's why I'll give a certain language. So when I read it, my writings, I can illuminate it to you, because I'll write it in the general of the student. You come to class and then you start writing your notes, and then you be like, oh, I see what this brother's done. He's making us think. Absolutely. Yes. Yes. So it's so much in here. I don't want to stay too much on it, but in Surah 7, Ayat 205 of the Holy Quran, it states, and remember your Lord within yourself, humbly and with fear and without loudness, in words in the morning and in the afternoons, and be not of those who are neglectful. See, these are the confirmations of the importance of worship, the ibadah. It is these important truths that raise the faith of the iman, of the Moorish, and our purest of being that perfect man, that perfect woman, Yahshua, Jesus, and our Moorish Quran were the student in many different mystery schools, the same way that I had the pleasure to be, which he sat, and only to find, how can I say, commonality or synchronicity with those he was sent to redeem and save. Wherever Yahshua, Jesus, sat, he actually corrected the teachings that were given to him and passed all tests, the same way here. And in chapter 12, page 18 of our Moorish Holy Quran, Ayat 1, and I quote eloquently with the silver tongue, in the silent meditation, Yahshua, Jesus, sat beside a flowing spring. Didn't he? It was what? The holy day, Friday. And many people of the servant caste were near this place. Brothers and sisters, also in chapter 11, page 18, ayat 16 of our Moorish Holy Quran, regard not then what any man has said. Let us forget the flesh and go with mind into the land of fleshless things. Because mind never does forget, and backwards through the ages, which we call the cycle of time. Because brothers and sisters like myself, you and I, the masterminds, we can trace ourselves, and thus we know without a doubt. And this is a self-examination, brothers and sisters, for anyone who is a servant to and for the God within, the Allah within, if we're coming from a Moorish perspective. In the context, service means slave per se. Now watch, I don't mean in shackles. You can be a slave to your discipline, meaning it's a certain order that you operate in. Stay in the science. And we as Moors are to serve our Father God Allah, who is also the master and sent unto us. Our master, for example, our prophet, that had to be the great God to send our prophet, even to send me, to send you and I. Brothers, chapter 38, page 38, ayat 1 and 2. Repine not, O man, at the state of servitude. It is it is the appointment of Allah and have many advantages. It removed thee from cares and solitudes in life. The honor of a servant is his fidelity. His or her highest virtues are submission and obedience. And I ain't saying submitting to some man. No, I'm saying submitting and obedience to your tenants. Because if we are Moors, We are to give the cares of the world to Allah, to Yahweh, and he will take care of all these things that we may think we have, which will continue to keep you and I wondering in the unknown. And you're going to keep running into words like submission, praise, meditation, prayer, worship, remembrance. These are the tenets of saving powers that man, that woman can utilize, or as we say in Moorish science, the tools in our toolbox. The self-examination is constant because what? Man and woman in our lower state is eternally what? A beast in the wilderness. Why? Because when you just think in your lower state, you can think going as the dog, per se, an analogy, on your fours when you disconnected. This is a beautiful thing to be a part of. We got a little bit of more time. Watch this. Our Moorish American prayer, which we have shirts on MoorishHaberdasher.com. Check us out. We call it our map, which is our Moorish American prayer. I didn't say fall into the gap. I said our map, Moorish American prayer. A map is a guide to get you to where? A destination that is known by the peer at what? Heart. And our prophet, myself, you and I, is the example, the BBT. It's the brick and mortar to get us there. It's the way, the truth, and the light of Allah. In our 101s, what do it tell you a prophet and an angel is? A prophet and an angel is a man clothed in the flesh. Damn it, last time I checked, I got on clothes in the flesh. Come on, why would we diss our prophet and an angel? In our 101s clearly tell us what is a prophet and an angel. We got a little bit more time. Can I keep going? Or y'all feeling all right? We want to go a little bit more time. We done.
Yes, sir.
We got 10 more,
all right.
10 more minutes. Stop me. Give me 10 more minutes, and we out of here.
Indeed.
The DHIKR, the Dhikr, is another method of remembrance. And with that understanding, we call upon the names, the attributes of Allah, as we see from our Moorish Quran that Allah has many names. When I tell people, oh, this name, no, you don't get caught up in the name, because if you understand Allah, God, Yahweh has plenty beautiful names. So to call upon these names give what? Spiritual aid and relief. Stay in the science. Watch this. The Holy Quran of Mecca, Surah 17, Ayat 110 says, and I quote eloquently with the silver tongue, say, O Muhammad, invoke Allah, or invoke the most gracious Allah by whatever name you invoke him, by whatever name. It didn't say by this specific name, my brothers and sisters. It says by what? Whatever name you invoke. It is the same. For him belongs the best names. So if you can say, man, Sheikh is magnanimous, and you can say, man, Sheikh is awesome. That's beautiful attributes. If you can say, hey, Sheikh is cool, thank you. Those are beautiful praises to give the brother. Honor. When you say a workman is due, how? Give the brother praise and honor. And offer your salat, your prayer, neither aloud nor in a loud voice, but follow a way between. Because the pendulum swings the same way to the left as what?
As it does to the right.
Come on, that Noble Malik?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Peace.
no.
Peace.
Peace.
You know, when you called, I put the APB out. I said, hey man, that Malik called. Somebody make sure you're good. I'm not.
Yeah, I gotta call him Ron.
You know how we do. Now y'all see.
Yes, sir.
Now y'all see how a real example of brotherhood is. When I tell y'all, like, this ain't no fake stuff with us. This is how we are with each other every single day. What I have, my brother's gonna have. I tell y'all, this BBT stuff cup finna run all over. Y'all gonna see all my noble just like me. Watch, like damn, like they pop. Because we already doing things with our knuckles, per se. Once we have the right thing going on and people understand, that's why I feel so good. Why? Because we already at a place. Like Noble Malik said, you only can accept the charge if your battery got some type of charge. You can't just be all dead out. You might not be able to accept the charge. Woo! I took that as wisdom. Gratitude for that too, Noble. That was wisdom for me. Watch this. But in our map, as prescribed by the prophet, he has given us two of the best names. Watch this. And these are the protector and guide. Our Noble Alonzo made our shirts. Go on moorishhaberdasher.com and look at the map shirts. Like, we live this. We exhume this. The protector and guide. It is these two names that believers worldwide seek when in prayer. Guides and protection, regardless of denomination. That's in our map. That ain't nothing else. That's in our map. And if they believe in the one God, their protection and guidance are human necessities that are only comforted through worship and remembrance. These things you do remember. All is my protector and my guide. Allah is. This is what we say in our prayer, y'all. This is also a zikr or zikr, a Z-H-I-K-R. It's a remembrance that is expounded upon through breath that internalized and applied through the will, which is a force of Allah. You need this stuff, Moorish. Watch this. I got a little bit more, and we're going to end it because my Noble said I can go for an hour and 10 minutes. So I'm going to be honorable to time. The 5 divine principles are also names of Allah. I'm still in the schoolmaster. What do you mean, Sheikh? Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. This is divine love. And it leads to what? Truth. The Al-Hajj. And truth grants one peace. The As-Salam. Y'all know what y'all say. As-Salamu Alaikum. This is a synchronized or interconnected for the guidance and protection of Allah. Leads one to the true wisdom of self and creator. That's a unifying divine experience. It gives you an utmost peace. And this is freedom and justice. Now, justice is man or one man being held accountable for his or her ways and actions. That's when we talk about reward or penalty. So if I'm doing an action right now, which I'm working for my brothers and sisters, I should be able to get a reward. Why shouldn't I? If we agree to what I'm doing, which is manifested by man or woman himself or herself. There is also justice on the spiritual level, and that is to Allah alone. When you hear my Noble in our benediction, the protector, the Yah Muhammad, the guide, the truth, the peace. The guide is a Yahadi, the truth, Yahaj. The peace is the Yah Salam. You see, these are just a handful of the beautiful names of Allah that our prophet placed in our map. What is our map? Our Moorish American prayer. I told y'all I can take little things about our science and pull a whole teaching out of it. I just put a whole synchronized teaching in the book that I gathered and compiled that ain't 50 pages. And I'm breaking down the powerful of our Moorish American prayer. That's powerful.
All day.
These are the names to be called upon or to conquer up after your prayer, while in your meditation or in your contemplation. You should understand about meditation, and you should always talk about contemplation when I talk about putting it in your calculator or getting a flush and fill or rebooting your hard drive. When I was young, my dad always used to, before you make a decision, he said, he used to be like, hold on, Negroes, I got to put this in my calculator. I'm like, damn, he said, I got to think about that. He's like, the Holy Spirit got to tell me what's right or wrong. Because if I say no, and then the Creator told me to say no, that's right. You're not going to catch me in the moment, you know? But yes, but those who understand Tasawwuf know that a sheikh is supposed to guide you, and Moorish guide is the prophet. Today is myself in the flesh, but all y'all are prophets. We guide each other. It just so happened that I'm just a damn sensei. That's it. All y'all master teachers to go out, lead the way, and bring the brothers back. How? Because the wisdom that they see y'all. That's what it is. We exhume each other. Brothers and sisters, we got to understand the importance of prayer. Worship and remembrance is a integral part of our divine creed because it's definitely pertaining to Allah, and Allah alone demonstrated through the action of application of our principles, our tenets, and our beliefs. So to call upon Allah's name daily in all that we do is remembering keeping that name in our heart, which will keep the name of our tongue. And this is what produce mercy, justice, love, and right, because that manifestation of that acronym Allah becomes our guide and our protector in more science. We're not dissing nothing else. So when brothers be like, well, do y'all know we use in our language? We can teach you the synchronicity, which I already did, because I done broke down in the Moorish Quran, in the Silent Brotherhood of the East, it break down Jesus. So you should clearly understand where I'm coming from. If not, something is very messed up with your mental. You can't say, well, we disagree, we can agree to disagree. No, the hell we can't. I just broke this down that the child can understand. But he say in their science, in their brotherhood, this is how they did, this is the vernacular. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Because the lower self is alive and is well in our movement. Because Moors don't know what the divine creed is. A lot of people haven't taught what our prophet taught. You know, they can't teach on a divine creed. They can't teach on something they know. And if they know it and don't teach it, but damn them. Some people said prophet plagiarized the Moorish Quran. So this is going to be my last little demonstration and we'll wrap it up. So let's define plagiarism. The practice of taking someone else's work or ideas and passing them off as one's own. The Moorish Holy Quran was divinely prepared. That's one. As stated on the cover of the Moorish Holy Quran, the word is prepared, which is past tense. So let's look up the word prepare, meaning to what? Make something ready for use or consideration or anything pertaining, relating to what? God. Moors know the truth does not change or pass away. And the truth is what? Ought. And ought is what? Allah. See, our prophet took truth from other divine sources and prepared a guide for us in the form of a book, as no other prophet has done, just the same way I've done today in the flesh. And all these other books came after the prophet transition, but our prophet gave us one prepared directly from him with the remedy of to our mental slavery. That's why I don't be caring about what nobody else saying. They say, well, you not, it ain't contingent on you telling me who I am, smart guy. It's contingent on me. It's contingent on me knowing who I am. It ain't contingent on you. Can't nobody that don't look like me tell me who I am. And if you let somebody tell you that and your kids and your baby, then you promulgate that, the joke on you, Jack. The joke is on you, not me. And Allah does not give a foreigner as our redeemer. Allah never done that. In no time, give no foreigner as redeemer. How? Because the prophet and an angel come from amongst your brothers, from your people. The Bible says this. So how can a foreigner be your redeemer? How? It doesn't even make sense. They ain't even speaking your language. They ain't even dressing your culture. And somebody got to come that don't look like you and tell you about you. That don't even make sense. It don't fit prophethood. It's a prophethood is an understanding. Prophethood, a prophet, a map and a guide come from amongst your family, come from amongst your own people. You see them raised up. That's what this is. When somebody that come and don't look like you and all that, it don't fit prophethood. It don't fit the system. When you cross-reference Surah 14 and 4, my brothers and sisters, I'm on it. You know what? Somebody say you on it. Oh yeah, I'm on it. Watch this. When you cross-reference Surah 14 and 4 and Surah 49 and 13 from the Holy Quran of Mecca, and you can gain a better understanding in relation to us having a prophet who speaks the language of those he are to redeem, so that the message would be clear, concise, and definite message. That's what all the teaching says. If I come in a different language, I'm in linguistics. Come on, y'all. Chapter 1 gives reference to celestial hierarchy, which reference some, not all of the angelic hierarchy. But I don't want to go too further. I want brothers to get the wisdom. And if you can't, like I said, afford to buy the wisdom on our Temple and School webpage, we sell all our books at mypdfbooks.com. All you got to do is hit me up. My information, my email will be at the bottom, and a small suggested donation. I want people to have the science. I want to put it in brothers and sisters' hands. But just like the prophet said, a workman is due his hire. And we bind them, or we can just send it to you as an ebook, and you can have it in your tablet, or you can go to Office Max and Staples, and they'll print it and bind it for you, just like this. They'll print it and bind it for you, just like this. So I hope all my brothers and sisters that's under the sound of my voice today, you know, please get with me. If you gave a donation today to the ministry and to the teachings, I'll give you this book. I'll send it to you, or I have my muftis email it to you. If any noble support, and I'm not telling you what to support, because I can send a quick email. It ain't gonna take nothing but a snap of the finger. But you know, I would like you, you know, if you give a suggested donation, I ask for a suggested donation of $20. But if you don't have it, say if you have 15 or 10 or 7, I'm still gonna give it to you because I want you to have it. I want brothers and sisters to have the wisdom. And if you like what I'm doing, I will hope you support. And if brothers and sisters want taxes and receipts that support us, we can do that as well. But as we close, I want to show other books that I've gathered, compiled, and divinely prepared. That's one. I showed these when we was working out earlier this morning too. My other book is a vegan treats, where I have dishes in here where people say, "Oh, I don't know what to make," and they don't have cookbooks. Man, I got the books right here. You can do this with your children at home or your wife. When people be like, "Oh, what I'm gonna make?" Y'all, I got the manuals. Your brother done this. Open the manuals now. Talk about I don't know what to make. Here, y'all got the manual. Make something. Be like, yeah, my noble got dishes. Apple and peach jam pie bars. I got all type of dishes in here. You know, all type. Our next one is Moorish American Light of Ali, the Moorish Adapt Study Guide, the House of Ali Mysticism. Small little manuals, no more than 20 pages. These are a couple pages. I'm getting ready to compilate all of them together once I get all my mufti's information. My noble Brian just put out his compilation. It's called What is Moorish Science? And we're going to compilate a lot of our books and make them one big book for a lot of our nobles can reap benefits off things, because we are a group of authors. And I want to have something collectively that we all put together. But let me proceed. That's available. That's 3 books right there. The Euro and Negrocentric Propaganda, where I got all these brothers in here, scholars in history that we may have heard of. A lot of us haven't. I got my You Are What You Eat, where I got these good dishes in here. I named after a lot of my family. You know what I mean? Here goes Steve, Queno, and chickpea tabbouleh salad. I named that after a family member. You know what I mean? I got some good dishes in here, y'all. Somebody said, Sheik, you did that years ago. Yeah. This after my niece, Amaya's bell peppers and chickpea tacos with avocado. Like, I got dishes. Like, when people be talking about, oh, I got to find some dishes. And I'm like, oh, you ain't even supported me and got none of my books and helped support your brother. I got all dishes in here. Look, named after my brother's wife, Wendy's Mediterranean Pinwheels. Look at this. You know, I got dishes. And this is a big cookbook. I got all type of good stuff. What we talking about when they say, well, and we work out. So when you say, but man, I need to find some dishes. Well, I think your brother got dishes. I mean, look at all this good stuff in this cookbook, man. All y'all like this, because we done changed the way we eat. There's some good stuff in here. 14 famous Asiatic scientists in history. 14 famous Asiatic scientists in history. Divine pattern of the Messiah Tabernacle. How we believe, and we break down the Moorish Salat and all that, etc. Esoteric science of the Moorish Fez, where we break down the Fez. Small compilation to give you a clear understanding. Sufism and the triple role of the Adapt Chamber. Healthy eating and living. Eat good, feel good, live good. Your body is your temple. I got different how to get rid of parasites. What is parasites? How to remove parasites. All different type of workouts in here. Different smoothies. Talking about how different meat is killed and things like that. Different workouts. All in here. Different herbs. You know, we can follow right along. Got all the different smoothies you can do. I mean, this stuff that I gathered and compiled years ago is still valid. And when I say years ago, I mean about like maybe, might not have been 10 years ago. I have to look in my files to see how long I gathered and compiled and put all these together. I talked about ashwagandha and cat's claw and all this stuff all in my books. weight training. I got all, when people want to get in shape, I got all the ways you can follow these workout routines, like circuit weight training, workout routines. Circuit training with machines hold value for lifters of all skills. When you're just starting out, these machines help to build necessary to prosper with free weights variations. And since most of your early gains are neurological, not physiologically, it's good to make progress rapidly in the safety of circuit. And I'll show y'all how to do these. Like I got chapter 1 for beginners, chapter 2. Chapter 1, I tell you how to rest 1 or 2 minutes between circuits, perform 3 to 4 circuit total. Then I got different circuit 2 to burn fat, all these things. And then not only the days I'm telling you what to do on Monday through Thursday when you do the squats and all that. And then I have pictures and things in here, manuals. So that's about like 11 or 12 books. And earlier this morning, I want to give gratitude to and I can't even remember the noble name, but sorry. If you on here, apologize, I can't remember your name. He jumped, when we got done working out, he jumped right in my inbox and was like, brother, I want all your books. And I said, well, I'll let you get all my books, ebook, for $60 donation. He said, no, I want to pay the price. He was like, man, if we can pay for everything else, I want to help you. And the brother bought all my books. So he was like, can I print them and bind them? And so I just went to Office Max and Staples and printed and bind them, and I'm going to ship them to the brother. So gratitude. But if anybody want to check mypdfbooks.com, that's books with a Z, and purchase any of my books, you can go there. And we also have a library with a plethora of books on there that cost, different amounts. And a lot of books that I'm going to put on there, I don't have on there right now, but we do have bindedbooks.com where we print and bind a lot of expensive and rare books. But mypdfbooks.com, that's books with a Z, you can get all my books there. And anybody that's dealing with me today, when I'm in ministry, all you got to do is deal with me personally and we can get things done. So with that, I say gratitude, man, for taking time out y'all day and just listening to listen to my little old self ramble about Moorish science and what the Holy Spirit has revealed to me, and just want to show my brothers and sisters what righteousness look like, and saying the difference of how can I say, I have to say this, Moors that operate in truth, that's upright. It's going to be a certain demeanor. It's going to be a certain nobility about those types, And so with that, I say, Moors, again, if y'all have any questions that didn't pertain to today's teachings, which it always be, but when we have class, I ask people to stay in context. Please send an email, send a message, and we'll speak on those. And we'll answer all questions. We'll have a time to speak on that. I want us all to be on a clear understanding, because we can't have different understanding and we're supposed to have the same teachings and the same science. We can't. And if we do, that's arbitrarily. And if law governs all events, if these Moors talk about they deal with law, then you have to deal with it on all perspectives. You can't deal with it when you want to lie to the people, and we're not going to deal with that. So once again, I give honor to everyone. Thank everyone for a donation that you gave. And if you didn't, thank you for showing up. And if you have it on your heart, I hope sometimes that creator put it on your heart to support us, because I give way more than what a person will give. And I can help you. Like I said, if you are Moor and you don't have a fez, get with us. MoorishHaberdasher.com. We produce them. Turbans, fezzes, she-mags. We have everything for our culture. A one-stop shop of culture. If you need web design, my noble Alonzo on here. You see our commercial, our advertisement before and after the class over. ALO Design Pros that do all this magnanimous stuff. So when you go on MoorishHaberdasher.com, all that custom stuff, that's ALO Design Pros. That's our noble Alonzo Wright Bay. When you see all that Morsachi, all that A. Jelani, all that the icons, we see all that the Russian icons. We got clothes and shirts with that stuff on there. We have some dope stuff, and all we need is support of our people, man. And we'll do something magnanimous. I'm telling you, I know we will. But I just continue to rambling. Let me end it right here. But I love y'all, and thank everyone, and thank everybody for their support. Noble, do y'all got anything else? If not, you can take us out.
Islam, just gratitude, peace, and love as always.
Gratitude and love.
Gratitude, Noble.
Gratitude. Can somebody give us our Moorish American prayer, Malik? Malik, if he there?
Yeah, you got it. Allah, Father of the universe, Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is our protector, our guide, and our salvation by night and by day. To his holy prophet, Drew Ali, Amen Ashe, Shalom Aleichem, Ash'ar, Islamism. Peace, 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 peace.
Hey, Malik.
Peace.
Yeah.
I was telling Noble Alonzo when class started, I said, hey, I showed him the picture of my dad, the picture of Alonzo with his ass caught on his fist. My dad was like, oh, he clean. He was like, oh, no. He was like, that's how you do it. He was like, that's how you do it. I was like, yeah. I was like, Noble don't know about that ass caught, do they? Lonzo, they don't know about that ass caught, do they, Lonzo?
That's the shot. That's that Moorish drip. Gotta get
Ooh, clean.
Moorish drip.
Gratitude.
Clean. That was clean. See, we distinguished. And that's what I say. I give honor to y'all, man. We look good as we continue to keep going. And we are the upper echelon of this movement. So let's just keep going. Let's just keep being love. And love trumps all. No matter nobody coming with hate or anger, love trumps all. Not that saying we know chumps, but love trumps all hate to where it's going to change the atmosphere. You would come with all that negative energy to others. When you come around this, it's like, oh, man, I need to come correct. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Indeed.
That's what righteousness does. That's what the spirit does. That's what astroplaning does. So I give honor to all y'all and to y'all's spirit, as y'all spirit into me, and my spirit going to y'all and vibrates all over this internet, just like those bells, just like those vibrations. We're going to continue to vibrate and continue for our message to spread like electricity. So once again, I give y'all light, I give y'all love, and I give y'all peace. Take us out with our benediction.
Islam. Tell me in benediction, read as follows. May the benediction of Allah be upon thee and thine always, as thou shouldst strive to be a credit to Allah. Make haste to bestow thine acts of love upon thy brethren, and do the best to shun thine evil ones. Remember to take suckle of the breast of knowledge, wisdom, fortitude, charity, love, and all standing, that you might nourish the souls of men. Let truth be the shield in the manifest battles of falsehood. Know that Moors be not to pick the locks of the gates of paradise by means of petty or criminal death, or behold, the key to salvation already rests within thine own hands. And yes, even though a portion of our nature is weakness, instability, and inconsistency, there still is the greater part of our nature that is divine. May Allah protect thee, guide thee, preserve thee, lengthen thy age, and give thee everlasting peace. Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim, Al-Haq, Ya Muhammad. And when we say Al-Haq, that's one of the illustrious attributes of Allah, and it stands for the truth. And when we say Ya Muhammad, that's another illustrious attribute of Allah, and it stands for the protector. We here at the BBT see ourselves as truth protectors, and we cast our net out to all true and divine light seekers to come and join on to us, for the truth has no sides. For the truth is one, as man is with Allah. And with that, we say peace and love. Islam.
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 Peace, peace,
Islam.
peace,
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 peace, peace,
peace,
peace,
peace,
peace,
peace,
peace,
peace,
peace, peace. Take us out, Noble B. Let's go.
mypdfbooks.com. That's books with a Z.
Again, this broadcast has been brought to you by mypdfbooks.com. That's books with a Z, where reading funds the mental. Also brought to you by bindedbooks.com, where treasures are bound. Be sure to get all of your herbs at herbsofmyaunt.com. My Aunt Sons, Tea of Teas, divinely prepared. Also for those musical stylings by Brian Hicks Faith, be sure to check out bhbaymusic.com. And for your everyday items and religious regalia, be sure to check out morrishaberdasher.com. And for that everyday especial Moorish drip, be sure to check out morsachi.com. And all of these companies are powered by ALO Design Pros. Design your online business strategy today.
I'm a spirit speaking, truth seeking, heart reaching, knowledge leaking, seeds sowing, harvest reaping, man of meager means. I have yet to leave, I'm still breathing. To quit, I have no reason. I mean, I'm asleep, but I be trying to live my dreams. I cannot even act if it's all easy. Either you gon' do it or you don't really. It ain't no in between. Baby, you can ask the sun, it's an everyday thing. Consistency in your routine is how you bring reality. Working like a slave, that's how I made this masterpiece. Living like a god, I lay at night, I rest in peace. They remember me, but I am not Harama beef.
Hey, yeah.
Peace and love.
Let's
Peace and love.
go.
Let's go.
Peace and love, man. I love